If you are a loyal IKEA customer and you're interested in their credit cards, you really want to actually watch the show till the end, because I'll be actually dissecting the pros and cons, like when it comes to the IKEA Visa versus the IKEA Projekt. Okay, so here's the overview I really want you to pay attention to. So I want to first go back to the IKEA Visa credit card. So when you think about the IKEA Visa credit card, this card actually rewards dollars redeemable only at IKEA. So this is what we call the closed loop credit card, or for specific installation and assembly services. So the rewards dollars and certificates expire quickly and are only redeemable in $15 increments. Okay, this is really important. But the cool thing is, if you frequent IKEA and plan to buy more than meatballs, for example, you may actually benefit from heavy IKEA spend related rewards with no assembly required. So I just want to really specify here. This is a closed loop credit card. You can only use it at IKEA, either online or at their brick and mortar, super stores. And the card has no annual fee. The regular APR is around 21%. Sometimes they will go all the way to 24.99%. Okay. And they want you to have if you have fair credit, that's good. If you have bad credit, they could also approve you if you buy a lot. Okay, so this is really important to think about that. So the transactional volume has to be huge if you want to be approved with poor credit. So here are the pros and cons of this credit card, the IKEA Visa credit card. So pros: no annual fee, no foreign transaction fee, and you have a plentiful cashback reward categories. But again, those rewards can only be redeemable at IKEA, either IKEA.com or IKEA in their stores. What about the cons here? The rewards are limited to IKEA, as I said before, and related services, assembly, installation. There is no low introductory APR period, and the rewards do expire, because they want you to spend, right? They want you to spend real quick. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. In today's conversation, we're really quickly talking about IKEA credit cards, and I'm just discussing with you IKEA Visa and IKEA Projekt. Okay, so the thing about this card is that you earn 5% back in rewards on IKEA purchases, including trim installation, and TaskRabbit assembly services. You have 3% in rewards on dining, grocery stores, and utility purchases, and 1% in rewards on all other purchases made with your IKEA Visa credit card. Okay, it's important to really think about that. And I want to really go a little granular here. So when we think about the IKEA Visa credit card, this is actually a credit card that allows you to do a lot of things. But just remember, if you have to be an IKEA aficionado or aficionada, you have to love the brand, you have to love their furniture, you have to love, because it's not just, when people think about IKEA, it's not just furniture though. You have everything you can think about. Okay, especially if you are close to a very like a super mall, a super store, like IKEA superstore, you can actually use the cash. You can use a lot of stuff there. Now the limit on this credit card, the Visa credit card, depends on your credit worthiness and also your how long you've been shopping at IKEA. Because what they do is they look at transactions, like they have a system in place when they actually check you out in terms of your name and the transactional volume you have actually generated for the brand, for IKEA, let's say in the last quarter, in the last 6 months, in the last year. And what they do is they kind of model that to see what kind of shopper you are. Are you a big shopper? Are you an occasional shopper? Are you a very very avid shopper? So they kind of look at those patterns. They look at those what we call behavioral patterns, just to see whether or not you are a very good client. So that's how they actually set the limits. Okay. Now, in terms of we have folks who actually were approved for all the way to $50,000 on this IKEA Visa credit card. So it really depends. It really depends also on the geography you're in. I mean, if you are in California versus if you are in Rhode Island, I mean, you can see that there is a delta there. So that it wouldn't be the same sort of limits that you will get for your IKEA Visa credit card. Okay. And one thing you also need to understand here is that the cashback that I was just talking about, those cashback, I think I've said this before. Those cashback are on IKEA purchases, including trim and installation and TaskRabbit assembly services. Okay, but everything has to revolve around IKEA anyway. I mean, this is a closed loop card. It's a store card. It's a store card, and it's a card that is made to generate extra business for IKEA anyway. I want to quickly talk to you about the rewards because this credit card has fantastic rewards. But again, as long as you are willing to be within the ecosystem, the IKEA ecosystem, you will love it. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about IKEA credit cards, and I'm actually talking about the IKEA Visa credit card and also the IKEA Projekt credit card, what they call Projekt credit card, if you were to pronounce it in Swedish. I'm not really an expert, but I think it could be something like this. Okay. Let's talk about earning rewards. So this Visa credit card earns 5% in rewards on IKEA purchases. Okay. And so we're talking about, I spoke about the trim and installation, the TaskRabbit assembly services, but also I'm talking about 3% in rewards on dining, grocery stores, and utility purchases, and 1% back in rewards on all other purchases made with your IKEA Visa credit card. Okay. Now, the thing you have to remember, this is really, really, really important. Rewards, like the reward dollars, they do expire 3 years. So they expire 36 months after they're posted to your account. So reward certificates awarded from depending on the date where you actually applied for the card or you actually charge stuff on the card, it runs automatically. Reward dollars are not earned on any purchase. They're not earned on any purchases made using third-party payments such as Venmo or PayPal. If your account is closed, any unused reward dollars will be forfeited. Okay, so this is something you need to really think about here. And this IKEA Visa credit card also includes a welcome bonus, $25 off your first IKEA purchase of $25 or more instantly after using the card immediately upon approval in store, or receive a statement credit after using the card immediately upon approval online. Okay, it has to be at IKEA.com or in store. Okay, plus you have a $25 bonus IKEA reward dollars after spending $500 or more outside of IKEA, trim and TaskRabbit within the first 90 days of account opening. So what I'm trying to say here is that you can use the card outside, but honestly, if you really want to reap the benefits, use the card within the IKEA ecosystem. Okay, now let's talk about redeeming rewards. Now, accrued reward dollars are redeemed for IKEA reward certificates in $15 increments. Each $15 in reward dollars is automatically redeemed for a $15 reward certificate that may be used at IKEA, trim and TaskRabbit. If your reward account balance is $44, you will be issued 2 certificates of $15 each and the other for $14. Okay, this $14 will stay in your account until it's at least $15. Okay, it has to reach $15. Any unused dollars on a certificate will be forfeited, as a certificate may only be used once. Okay. So this is really, I just wanted to clarify that part. Let's now talk about the second credit card into this conversation. That's the IKEA Projekt card, or the IKEA Projekt card, if you want to pronounce it like, because, I think this is not an English word, but it's okay. Now, when you think about this card, this is another closed loop, low introductory APR card to be used only for IKEA purchases. You can see that those two cards, as I say, you have to actually be within the IKEA ecosystem. The card does not earn rewards and is only intended for financing larger home purchases for IKEA of at least $500. Otherwise, there are no benefits or uses to having the IKEA Projekt credit card. Okay, if you need to regularly finance the purchase of cabinets or furniture with style names you'll spend all day trying to pronounce, this card may be for you. But pay close attention to the terms and conditions because they do change depending on your geography. So be very careful here. Let me talk to you about the pros and cons here. The pros: there is no annual fee. The cons: you can finance large IKEA purchases with various 0% intro APR offers. What about the cons here? The card can only be used on IKEA purchases. Is a closed loop card. I just said that, right? No rewards, no additional benefits. So you are speaking about 0% interest for 6, 12, or 24 months. Minimum purchase is required though, depending on the store and the geography where you currently are at. So the APR is 21.99% variable on purchases, and there's no annual fee. Okay, this is really what it is. Now the thing here, this is just IKEA's version of financing, because they know you know, sometimes folks want to spend money on furniture, like very large, I would say a consequential amount, but they don't have the money right away. And regular credit cards don't always help in financing that. So hey, listen, IKEA came up with this project. Okay. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are still having a conversation about IKEA credit cards, and we're talking particularly about those two IKEA credit cards, the Visa credit cards, but also the Project credit cards. And when we talk about this card, the Project credit cards, you do not earn rewards with this card. Unlike the IKEA Visa credit card, the card does not have the card does not have a welcome bonus. Okay. And so this is only great for financing large IKEA purchases. And of course, you have the regular benefits of zero liability protection. You have IKEA loyalty programs. Okay, so cardholders are automatically enrolled in IKEA's program. Okay, but yeah, this is all you have to know about this. The card is great though, fantastic. Now, let me actually do a pick here. So we actually want to, let's just see how the card stacks up, like how IKEA cards stack up versus other cards. Okay, let's first talk about the IKEA Visa credit card versus the Citi Custom Cash card. Okay, now, this is one of our favorite. If you have been watching this show for a while, you know that we love the Citi Custom Cash card. And so this is a card that earns a 5% back on 5% cash back on purchases in a top eligible spend category each billing cycle, up to the first $500 in spending each month, and 1% back on all other purchases. So for home improvers leveraging the custom cash for maximum reward each month and not planning to spend much more than $500 per month at IKEA or other home improvement stores, the added ability to earn bonus category rewards at the 5% rate beyond IKEA may be really appealing when you really think about it. Okay. And so the lack of an additional bonus category may not be. Since the IKEA Visa cards rewards may only be redeemed toward IKEA only reward certificates, in nearly all cases, the Citi Custom Cash rewards are more useful since you can use cash any way you like. Neither card has much in terms of additional benefits, but the Citi Custom Cash does offer a 0% introductory APR for 15 months. Think about it. From the date of account opening on purchases and from the date of their first transfer for balance transfers completed within 4 months of account opening. And after that, you have an APR that goes from 18 to 28%, even though the IKEA one is around 21, like 22%. Okay, so you got to really think about that. Now, the thing is that for IKEA specific 0% intro APR, a separate card, the IKEA Projekt card, is required. Okay, so this is something you need to really think about. And what about the IKEA Visa credit card versus the Wells Fargo Active Cash card? Now, the Wells Fargo Active Cash card is a card for everyday spending elsewhere. Okay, the card earns 2% cash rewards on purchases. It also offers a $600 cell phone protection plan with a $25 deductible when the monthly cell phone bill is paid with the card, with a 0% and a 0% intro APR for 15 months from account opening on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. Then after that, the APR goes from 19%, that's it, 20% to 30%. And so balance transfers made within 120 days qualify for the intro rate, and the fee of 0%, no, 3% is also applicable. So when you really think about it, the Wells Fargo Active card is actually a wider use card. It actually presents you a much more versatile option for most consumers. Okay, but if you frequent IKEA and are willing to track spending categories for the bonus rewards, these two cards could work well paired together. Let me talk to you quickly about how the IKEA Projekt credit card stacks up. Okay, let's talk about IKEA Projekt card and the Citi Custom Cash card. Now, the Citi Custom Cash card, as I just said, it really earns a uniquely designed 5% cash back on purchases in top eligible spend category each billing cycle, up to the first $500 in spending each month, and 1% cash back on all other purchases. Okay, and you can use this anywhere MasterCard is accepted. The no annual fee card also offers a 0% intro APR for 15 months from the date of account opening on purchases and from the date of first transfer for balance transfers completed within 4 months. Okay, How does this, so the IKEA project card is better for continued renovations or redesigns with IKEA only, but for others, a card like the City Custom Cash card will probably have longer term usefulness. What about the IKEA project credit card versus the IKEA Visa credit card? Well, this is a pretty interesting thing. Now, one thing I want to say here is that if you are looking for a larger renovation projects, go with the project credit card. If you're looking for a smaller everyday purchases, the IKEA Visa credit card is just a lot better for you. Okay, again, not only in the short term but also in the long run, because you got to think about the opportunity cost here. Can you actually get another card and spending at IKEA stores and still get the same benefits? Those are conversations you need to have in your head first to see what really works for you. Okay, what about the IKEA project credit card versus upgrade triple cash rewards Visa, which is another interesting card. Now, one thing we need to I want to say here is that the project credit card is better if you need to finance something specifically with IKEA. Okay, specific. It has to be very specific. It has to be the only focus of the transaction for you to actually see the benefits here. Now, let me have a decision for you here. So, should you go with the IKEA Visa credit card or the IKEA project credit card, or neither? And or if you have to go with either or, in what conditions? Okay, let's talk about the IKEA project credit card. Is that card for you? If you are an IKEA superfan who spends many hours wandering the maze of couches and cabinets, and you intend to make large IKEA purchases often, you may benefit from the 0% APR promotional periods offered by this card. Remember, you have 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. This is fantastic. And IKEA fanatics should be aware that minimum payments are still required, and a high regular APR of 22% variable applies following the end of the all 0% intro APR periods. So before you make a purchase, you have to develop a solid plan to pay down any balances on this card before the end of the introductory APR period. Okay, it has to be part of your budget plan anyway. What about the IKEA Visa credit card? Is this card for you? Should you actually pursue it? Well, if you really think about it, the IKEA Visa credit card is designed for the frequent IKEA shopper spending their way out of the iconic, Hege-inspired couch and cabinet maze on a regular basis. But this is for smaller purchases though. So for everyone not eating meatballs for lunch every day, there is guaranteed to be a better card with more flexible reward consumption options, better benefits, and more usefulness in almost anything, including for home improvement related projects. Okay, so the bottom line here is that you got to ask yourself what kind of IKEA fan or IKEA store visitor you are. In all cases, you want to go for the IKEA project card if you have big project, big renovation project. Okay, and you want to actually have a card that allows you to pay to pay the whatever you charge on the card, to pay that balance over several months. I mean, think about it. If you actually were to charge $5,000 on the card and they gave you like 2 years, this is kind of cool because you have 0% like interest free. You have an interest free loan, quasi loan, that you actually pay over 2 years. This is really good. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about IKEA credit cards. So I gave you an overview, a very deep overview of the IKEA Visa credit card and also the IKEA project card. And I kind of help you pick the right card for you. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.